So today is all about one of my favorite builders here in the Houston Metro. We are talking all about Highland Homes. We're gonna go over their 40, 50, and 60-foot sections out here in Meridiana. And this one is super special to me now because we can officially say that the wife and I decided to call and make Meridiana our home, but that's gonna be a story time for a later video. Right now, we're gonna head into their 45-foot section and just look at some of the options that you can get over here, talk about the range, the incentives, and all the things that you can get with each one of these sections. If that sounds good, stay tuned. So what did you think about that gorgeous Everly plan? It's definitely one of my wife's favorite plans out here, and it's one of the reasons why we went with the house that we went with for Highland Homes in the 50-foot section that we're about to head over to right now. But right now, let me talk a little bit about what this section has to offer. There's 10 or 11 plans that they have. They're gonna range anywhere from 1,500 square feet all the way on up to about 2,400 square feet is where you're gonna cap out with in the 40-foot sections for Highland Homes over here. And that one, like I said, was the Everly. And even though it is on the smaller side for lots when it comes to how big of a lot that you can actually have out here, you had really tall ceilings, you had that grand look and feel that you just don't get typically in a house that is around 23 to 2,400 square feet. So definitely want to check out. Right now we're going to go and head on over to the 50-foot section and probably run into Jay, who I just bought a house from with my wife a couple days ago. So let's head on over to the 50-foot and let me know what you think. Oh, and before we do that, right now it's also great to point out that they still have great incentives. So right now, if you are building ground up in the 40-foot as well as in the 50-foot section, you can get $20,000 towards closing costs if you use their preferred lender. You can also get $20,000 to the design center, whether or not you use their lender in-house. So it just depends on what you need it for. Sometimes you can do a combination of paying your closing costs down, paying your interest rate down, and then using that builder incentive to help knock off of some of the costs that you're going to have at the design center to make it look like a model home and make it look really pretty. So that's what they currently have right now. That fluctuates with the day, with the week, with how things are flying off the shelves here in Meridiana. But right now they still have about 40K in incentives that they can offer you if you use their in-house lender. And so as we ride over to the 50-foot sections to talk to Jay and his team over there, I wanted to kind of talk about some of the benefits that even the bigger section doesn't have over here in Meridiana right now. So they do have a 65-foot section that is a little bit more estate style, where you can get up to close to 4,000 square feet. But right now, the builders that have a strong hold on those more premium lots that are on the lake that are oversized is Perry and Shea. Highland Homes in the 50-foot section is one of the reasons why my wife and I decided to get into that section, was the fact that they are gated. And so they have super affordable lake lots. They have super affordable gated sections right now. You can get in gated sections in a 50-foot wide product that is under 500K or right around 500K, depending on the layout that you decide to go with and the structural changes that you make. But that's almost unheard of in the Houston Metro, to be in a premium community and be gated under 500,000. So right now we're gonna head on over to the model home. It looks like Jay just pulled away. So we're gonna hop on in here and look at the Kingston plan. This is the one that stole my heart, but ultimately the wife chose to go a different route and we ended up getting a 2-story. But we'll talk about the size of homes, the incentives, and everything that comes along with being in the 50-foot section here with Highland Homes. So what do you think about that gorgeous Kingston plan? I personally love it. I think it's one of, if not one of my favorite plans, especially at this size in Houston. I love a Highland home, and I love a big one story, and that gives me all the vibes that I need. In the 50-foot section, you're gonna range in size all the way from about 1,800 square feet up to about 2,800 square feet. The model that we got is somewhere around that 2,750-ish square foot size range. As far as incentives go, you're gonna be about the same as what you could get in the 40-foot section. So 20,000 towards the buy down of interest rates, the paying down of closing costs, or you can go the additional 20,000 towards your design center and use your own lender, and we can kind of negotiate some things on that. I personally did it where I used the outside lender, so I know it can be done if you have a lender that you just are hankering to work with. Other than that, gorgeous sections coming up. He's about to have a brand new section that opens up around the corner from the brand new elementary school that they're going to be opening on the east side of the community, right off of I-6. And so just a lot of growth and things going on over here. In the 50-foot section, again, let me remind you one last time, these are the gated sections. So it's going to be a little bit of Toll Brothers, but most of the lots in those gated sections are in fact for Highland Homes, and you can get in there and be in there sub 500,000 or right around 500,000 right now, which is unheard of in the market. Usually the gated sections in the Houston Metro are somewhere in that $600,000 to $700,000 plus. But right now in Meridiana, out here in Iowa Colony, you can get in sub 525. For sure, that is a deal that you can't pass up on. And one of the reasons why we decided to call Highland Home in the 50-foot section our home. But before we head on over to the 60-foot section and really check out the big boy and one of my favorite models and one of the more popular videos on my channel of the 222 plan, let's talk about price points. So as far as pricing goes out here, you're gonna have Highland Homes that are in that mid to upper threes, all the way on up to close to $1 million, depending on how big or how crazy you go. Right now, the 40-foot section is gonna be in that like 350s, all the way on up to about 450 to 475. You got some over here in the 50-foot section where we're about to leave that are gonna be in that like high threes, low fours, all the way up to about 550 is probably about where you would max out on most of the bills over here for the Highland Home in the 50-foot section. And then when we go on over to the 60-foot section, you're going to see some homes that are right around that upper 5, low 600, and go all the way up to about 800,000, give or take, before you do many structural upgrades depending on the lot premium and things like that. So definitely something to keep in mind. We're going to go and hop on over and see if my girl Tracy is in right now and check out her 222 plan for Highland Homes. Let me know what you think. So what did you think about that gorgeous 222 plan? It is one of my favorites for this size of home and one of the best layouts that they have to offer here out in Meridiana. So what do you think? Highland Homes. I've shown you the 40-foot section, I've shown you the 50-foot, now the 65-foot big boy is behind me. They do have some brand new sections that have opened up out here, so you have tons of opportunities to build ground up and have a wide variety of 1-story and 2-story options, kind of like this one behind me, going from the high 2,000 square foot all the way to around 4,000 square foot, depending on lot size and premiums and all those things that you're paying for. Incentives are about the same. Usually they're a little bit higher over here right now, but we can tell that we're getting to the peak season in the metro right now. So the incentive for $20,000 towards the design center and $20,000 towards your closing costs or paying down your interest rate is the same over here, but we may have a little bit of wiggle room with the relationship that I've built with Tracy and the team over here. I fortunately at this point sold houses in the 40s, the 50s, and the 60-foot over here in Meridiana, so I definitely know a thing or two about Highland Homes, and I can say without a shadow of a doubt that they are definitely my favorite builder out here in the metro right now. But what do you think? Do you think that you are leaning more the 40-foot? If so, give me a call. If you're looking in that 50-foot and you're thinking about coming and being one of my neighbors, hit me up. If you're thinking about going to one of the bigger sections like this one, I'd be down to help you out with those as well. Call, text, email. As a matter of fact, while I got you here, the amount of people that have hit me up or that I've seen while I'm out here touring, it happened to me today while I was filming. Someone said, "Aaron, is that you from YouTube?" And I look at them and I say, "But why didn't you hit me up?" Don't be one of those people. Call, text, email, hit the link below, book a call so I can help you on one of the biggest purchases of your life. I can let you know what is a good deal in this market. I deal with all these builders in this metro as well as the other surrounding suburbs, so I can tell you what is a good incentive, what is not, who's sandbagging and who is not. But the only way that I can do that is if you hit me up. I look forward to hearing from you, and I hope you have an amazing day.